Hey everyone, Howie Fisher from Fisher's Flies. Thanks for checking in. Today I'm going to be tying a green drake pattern, but this pattern is a variation essentially of Bob Reese's Fusion Nymph, which can be tied in various different colors and sizes. This is a size 12 on a 3X Nymph hook. It's traditionally tied on a caddis emerger pupa hook in smaller sizes, 16, 18. I'm using a Firehole 718 and 12, as I mentioned, paired with a 5/32 bead. And I'm using this hook for the longer body to make this a bigger fly to imitate a green drake nymph. For lead wraps, I'm going to be using Semperfli lead-free wire in .020. Gonna go ahead and do about a half dozen wraps right behind the bead. Once I get it where I want it, break that off and shove that right behind, right into the bead. For my thread, I'm going to be using 140 denier UTC in olive. I'm using 140 on this just to help build up that body to try and build the bigger profile of a green drake. If you use 70 denier, you just have to use more thread to build that body up. For the tail, I'm using Crystal Flash in mixed colors. Again, the original pattern, Bob Reece kind of varies or matches it to the color. I'm using this mixed color because it's got a lot of dark or a lot of green undertone usually, except for on these couple strands that I picked out, which I'm tying in a pink section right now. But I'm going to use 3 strands. Gonna go ahead and secure those in, starting behind the lead wraps. For the ribbing of this fly, which is the majority of the body, I'm actually going to be using olive ultra wire in medium. I'm going to go ahead and break a piece off and get started tying that in, again, right behind the lead wraps. And I like to do everything or get everything started right behind the lead wraps just to create a smoother transition between the lead wraps and the body. For the second material on the body, I'm going to be using ostrich herl in olive. I'm just going to use 1 piece for this. You can use 2, but honestly, if you use 2, it turns out to be just about the same amount of coverage, oddly enough, unless you stroke all the materials back as you're going. So once you get this ostrich herl secured, if you need to, this is the time to build a little bit of a taper, smooth out that transition from the back end to the lead, as you can see that I'm doing right here. Once I get that where I want it, just go ahead and palmer this ostrich forward. You don't have to have touching wraps. If you have a longer piece, you can definitely do touching wraps, but again, oddly enough, the more wraps you make with this ostrich and the way that this is tied, it doesn't really make a difference that much, I've noticed. So once I get that ostrich secure at the front, then I'm going to start wrapping this wire forward. So what makes this fly so effective is this wire wrapped over this ostrich. So you do want a lot of, or as much of this ostrich material poking through as you can see. The best way to get this done is to not make touching wraps, actually. Even if you make a lot of gaps or multiple gaps, it just makes it even more buggy. If you look at a picture of a mayfly, you'll see they have what are typically referred to as gills almost in the back half of their body. And so this ostrich herl is really designed to imitate those gills. It also provides a lot of movement and naturalness over this synthetic wire, right? So for the wing case on this fly, I'm going to be using turkey bats, turkey feather. And the original pattern is not tied with a wing case, but I wanted to do it for this pattern since it's a bigger green drake pattern. Felt like a wing case would be a good addition. So go ahead and get about 6 to 8 fibers selected, cut off the tips so you got an even lineup. And then what you want to do before really tying it in is kind of wrap those feathers around the body to make sure you get the full profile of those fibers. So for this next part, for the thorax, I'm actually going to be using a mix of two dubbings, SLF spiky dub and Hare's ice dub. I like to use a mix of these because I think the crystal or the Hare's flash dub is too flashy and the SLF dub is not flashy enough. So for this specific pattern, I like to mix a little bit of them together. So I get those stiff guard hairs, but I also get that really bright and attractive flash of the crystal dub. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a dubbing noodle. Doesn't have to be pretty because you're going to brush it out. So I like to wrap it forward, and then I actually like to wrap through the dubbing once, as you can see, or a few times, just to make it a little bit more durable. Then once I get that thread back up, I'm just going to go ahead and brush this out. This is what also makes this fly extra buggy, sorry. Once I get that where I want it, I'm going to fold those turkey feathers over and then go ahead and secure them. Snip off the extra. You don't have to do this next step, but I like to just add a tiny bit of dubbing in front of or on top of those just to additionally secure those turkey feathers. Then I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 to 3 whip finishes, make sure it's extra secure. And then go ahead and seat my knot, cut my thread off, and there you have it. Lastly, just add some head cement. In this case, I'm going to add some Solar Bone Dry. Hit it with the UV light. Make sure this lasts for a lot of fish. But again, here you have it, folks. This is the Green Drake Fusion. Tie it up in a bunch of different colors, sizes, a bunch of different ways, with or without the wing case, so on and so forth, with a soft hackle feather. Tie them up, fish them, let me know how they do.